Hi, my name is Peter Kang. So I came here last year too, so I'm back. So I run a company downtown, in Little Italy, Chinatown. It's called Barrel, and I'll get into what we do at Barrel. But just a little bit about myself before. So I went to school at Columbia. You guys know that, and there I studied two majors. Really nothing to do with what I do today. But I studied film, and I also studied history, American history. So it was a lot of fun. Wrote a lot of papers, watched a lot of movies too, which was great. While I was studying, one of the things that I really was passionate about was making websites. So starting high school, I would make websites for all kinds of things. I had a little 3-on-3 basketball league, and I'd make a website. And then I actually get a couple friends, a couple girls from class to come and do all the stats of us playing basketball. And then afterwards we go home, a bunch of friends and I would upload the stats onto a website, and then all the other kids could go log in and take a look. It was a lot of fun because people got really competitive, and people were trying to actually get assists and rebounds, stuff that you don't really care about when you play basketball. But because it was on the web, it was cool, and you wanted to be the best. And also made websites for a bunch of clubs at Columbia. So student council stuff, different cultural clubs. They would ask me hey, you know how to do websites? Can you make something for us? So got a lot of practice doing that as well. After I graduated, I graduated in 2005. Back in the day, so nowadays I think when kids graduate college, it's all about startups and tech. But back in my day, which was back in 2005, everyone who went to a good school went into either investment banking or consulting. It sounds terrible, right? But I went to a company called Lehman Brothers. It really doesn't exist anymore today because after 2008, we just bottomed out. But it was a great experience. I mean, I worked like a dog. It was 100-hour weeks. So yeah, there's not that many hours in a week, but 100 of them I was in the office. A lot of spreadsheets, a lot of PowerPoint decks. I mean, I actually enjoyed the work. It was very challenging. It was fun. It's just the nature of the work, the way the work happened was always a challenge. So you spend the whole day doing some other work, and then around 8 o'clock, 8 p.m. you're about to close things down and leave. And then somebody will come up to your desk and be like, hey, I need this by tomorrow morning. This is at 8 p.m. So sometimes I would work until 4 or 5 a.m. Go home, take a shower. So that was life for a year. But during this time too, I was on the side, I was still making websites with a friend of mine, and we really enjoyed that. And so after a year, I quit Lehman Brothers, and then I had an extra room in my apartment in Queens. So I was like, let's just make this our little office, and we started making websites together. And some of our early work. Actually, this is a failed project of our own. We tried to create a social network for people to blog about food. And this was different than Yelp because it would be a long form blogging. People, it's like a food diary, right? You go to a restaurant, you take pictures, and then you write extensive stuff about it. This is before the iPhone, so when that came out, this went bust. But we work with different clients. We work with people who sold sound equipment, or we actually kept in touch with a lot of people at Columbia University, so we did a lot of websites for their different departments. So little by little, we started building a little business, and so I'll get into what the Barrel story is. So Barrel is an interactive design agency. So what I mean by that is we make websites and web applications that help clients grow their business. So we started in 2006. We're about 30 people right now, and as you can see, a lot of our team members like to ride their bikes. This is our the wide angle view of our office, and the desks and stuff. So we do an open seating format. When we first started, so my partner and I, we used to just have our own little office, but it was kind of weird because everyone would be like, "Who's talking about in there?" And then everybody else was sitting out in the open. So now we just sit kind of like a trading floor style. Everyone's out in the open, and it's great for communication and just being in the know about different things going on. Some of our clients, you might recognize some of these logos. We've done things. So, like Kaplan, you guys probably know from all the test prep stuff. And we brought up the textbooks you guys probably get at school. And we've done some things for Microsoft. And early on we did a lot of work for NFL. These days we're actually doing a lot of work for Kind. You know those Kind snacks that you see everywhere? Yeah. So we're doing a lot of work on their websites and their different marketing. Let's tell you like what we actually do in terms of when we talk to our clients about our products and our services. So brand identity design. So at the most basic level, it's like the logos, the look and feel of like the graphics of a product or a brand. Website design and development. E-commerce, so making sure you can check out and buy stuff online. And then product design and development. So what we mean by that is whether it's an iPhone app or some kind of logging in functionality where people can go in and do things. We help our clients do that as well. So this is myself and my co-founder, Siu, and we took an offer for together for this. So I'll just answer this right now. Where does that name Barrel come from? And when Siu and I were starting to make websites together, we were like, well, why do we, what kind of websites do we like making and want to continue to make? And this is still early on, but I think it's held true today as well. And we were looking for something an object that was like simple, functional, and nice. And we happened to be of age and drinking wine, and then we saw a bunch of pictures of barrels at the restaurants. That's it. And so that's how we got the name. There are no other companies named Barrel except Crate and Barrel, but now I think we beat them in the Google search. So that's a belief. And so we've had that name pretty much since the day we started. This is just like a map of like different offices we've had. And, there's the story to all our moves, but we used to be actually when I worked at Leader Brothers, I had an apartment near their office, so that was like my first apartment, and then number 2 is my second apartment, and then number 3 we finally got our own little office, maybe the size of like here to maybe a third table, very small. It's like a little clubhouse. And then as we started adding people, it got bigger and bigger, and now we're down here. It's a good size, and it houses 30 people. So just want to show you guys some examples of our work. So I told you guys about Kind. This is really cool. Like it's called Strong and Kind. It's a new free version of the Kind bar, and Kevin Durant is like the person so that's it. We actually we did a lot of work with different food brands. So Sanctuary Tea is another one where it's like luxury teas. We did like a bunch of like infographics, designing like nice things to show why tea is good. We also work with a lot of technology companies. These guys are user research, they call audience research tool. So they measure analytics. A lot of people watch different videos. It was really neat, like just being able to help them develop their product and also roll out their marketing website. Brooklyn Gin, we did their website as well. Help them come up with a concept to show the cocktail recipes that they do. And we work with a lot of nonprofits. So with nonprofits, it's always a challenge because their budgets are smaller and you have to work with a lot of constraints. But when it works really well and they're willing to take chances on good design, they make really great experiences for their constituents. And it's another. This is actually interesting. Elevate is women's only network where professional women can go and connect with each other. A lot of very influential CEOs are on this network too. So if you're somebody who's like fresh out of school and trying to learn and find mentors, it's a really great place to do that. You got super soccer stuff. See that? Yeah. So that was it's cool. Like now that we did their website, like I see their signs. Little kids wearing their t-shirts everywhere. So yeah, they teach young kids soccer. It was great. The owner was a huge. He's Argentinian, so he was at the. I'm sure he was perfect. And then we do a bunch of graphics internally just for fun. You know, you have a bunch of designers, and you want to, you know, they're working on client work most of the time, but you want to make different types of graphics for yourself. You have that creative freedom. So, you know, we do like a happy hour every year for our whole building, and so we make this little invitation graphic. Whenever we have events at the party, we'll do like different types of graphics for our wallboard. This one was like, don't be a party pooper, so that's why. And then just like some graphics for holiday cards and other graphics that we use. I'll talk a little bit about culture, just, you know, what it feels like to work at Barrel, just be in that environment. So this is our team. We took this about like a month ago, and yeah, I would say we have a pretty young team. It's you know, I'm actually probably one of the oldest people there, and so like, you know, their age ranges are like, I think on the young end it's like 22 to like 30. So that's where most of our team members are. You know, we put a lot of effort into like making our office a very fun environment and you know, very open. I think that all the comes through. But then and Sewu did all the planning of like the interior layout. That was really cool because has anyone played with Google SketchUp before? Okay. Oh wow. Okay. So yeah. So Sewu is a SketchUp like maniac. So I remember when I first met him, and he was a freshman at Columbia. He had used SketchUp to sketch up his dome of like where all the things would go, like, you know, the furniture would fit. And he's thinking about that for this space. So you know, we have a really cool room that we call the cellar. We do a lot of trips together too. You know, we have an annual ski trip that our team goes on. And then this was fun. Like one of the nonprofits we were helping, they actually do beatboxing lessons for kids. And then they were like, hey, you guys want beatboxing lessons for your team? Sure. So it was really nice. Everyone got pretty good at beatboxing. Bowling is another pastime we do together. And then, you know, just like one of the things that we really emphasize is, you know, if you're going to be at the office every day and, you know, you want people to work, do their best work, the environment just has to be really well thought out. And so, you know, make sure like, you know, it's stocked with food. You know, we have really good coffee. Just all the furniture is like really picked out nicely. I love these stools. They stack. Because, you know, space is scarce in New York, but then you can just pull them up and it's somebody you can really brainstorm things. And then we also buy a lot of books, you know, whether it's on design or development, to make sure we have that resource library for our team. And ping pong table. So people love playing ping pong at our office. So as a business owner, I'm cool with it. But the thing that we always complain about is like, wow, like, you know how expensive it is to get an apartment in New York, right? And so you have a ping pong table that sits there. You know, it gets used maybe like an hour, 2 hours a day, let's say max. So the left 22 hours, I'm like, I'm paying for this table that's just eating up real estate in my office. And we're like, you know what, if it makes people happy for a couple hours a day, device station, so it's actually grown since this, but ever since like the mobile and like, tablets became prevalent for website experience, we've had to keep up with all these tablets for testing. So whenever we put out a website, we have to make sure it works on these devices. And so, you know, it's tiresome, of course, because like, you know, if you're a tester, you have to not only test on your desktop, you have to open up all these devices. But you know, this ensures that the websites that we put out are, you know, very, you know, are working for a lot. And just a few more pics. That's the. Oh yeah, so the kitchen is like my favorite part of my office, because we're like the office is very interesting. It used to be 2 residential units, and then they knocked the walls, and then now the whole building is commercial. But one of the kind of the remaining vestige was that we were able to get like a oven and a stovetop, and which in a commercial office is nearly impossible to get. So it's like it's awesome that we can actually cook stuff. So that's a big one. Is that like people love because we do lunches every day at the office. So people will like cook stuff up or. So then we have, so 3 days a week we get takeout from different restaurants. It's good. The 2 days a week we do sandwich days. So people are like, oh, boring sandwich days. So then, but then we buy all the ingredients, so you can make your own sandwiches. So creative stuff. And we got like a huge whiteboard in one of our conference rooms that we use all the time. So then I want to show you guys a video just. It's all static, so quick video.
I was working with Robinhood because I know they have really high expectations for the organization that they found.
Oh yeah, it was great. I mean, so the project that we did with them was this like like the New Yorker thing where it was literally like you take this quiz and then it tells you like so yeah, I mean it was they definitely like had really good feedback for us and it was a big deadline, but I think it went pretty smooth.
How different is it getting your website from like desktop to mobile?
Yeah, so we use this thing, this approach called responsive web design. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. So basically, it's actually I can show you. So you see how like I'm looking at a desktop version, right? But it's like when you start, when it shrinks down, like what starts happening to how does it look like on mobile? So things start to reflow, and so you see how like on mobile the menu changes, and then everything kind of flows so that it's more stacked on top of each other. So responsive web design is where you're using like you program it so that at different points of the width of the window you're looking at, it structure the layout of the page. So that's, I mean, you still have to like do a lot of testing and tweaking to make sure it works well, but if you're curious, if you just look up responsive web design, there's like good resources.
Out of the 30 people in your office, how many of them do you like work with every day?
You mean how many of them are?
How many of them do you directly?
Oh, directly? Yeah, so I'm more, so like my focus is more on the design side. So I pretty much, like, and of those designers, like, it depends on the projects that we're working on. So I can be, interfacing with like 10 to 15 people a day, depending on like, my other workload. These days, the thing that I do most is get new business. So like, I have to go to different companies and present, and then tell them what we can do and how we can help them, and then try to bring that in. So, like I would say, 40% of my time is spent like outside the office doing that, and then the rest of the time is with the project.
How did you go from a 2-person company to 30 people?
Yeah, so some luck and some like I think fortunate to just, really work hard to get there. So it was two of us for a while, actually. So we've been around 8 years. The first 3 years, it was just the two of us, and like we were like, we don't know what we're doing. We're gonna, we're failures. We suck. And then like I think one of the catalysts was there was a startup, and it was like the weirdest thing. It was this friend from high school. Her husband was like, a young guy too, very entrepreneurial, and he's like, oh, I'm starting this new solar like installation company, and he's like, I just need a logo, right? And then I was like, okay, I can help you. So we did this logo, and then he came back to us and was like, oh, can you make me a website? I'm like, okay, sure. And then he's like, you know what? We're like really growing big. Can you start making all of my, graphics for direct mail pieces, all my e-newsletters, all my stuff for like wrapping their cars, like all their like vans and everything. I was like, holy cow! And then I was like, we need to hire somebody because like I can't do this all by myself. So then we hired our first employee, and they can give us more work. So we hired our second employee, and then when we started putting this work up to share with others and talk about, hey, we know how to do X, Y, Z, we got other clients, and then so that helped to fuel our growth. It was gradual. I mean, we went from like 2 to 5, and was there for a little bit, and then got to 12, and then all of a sudden, like in the span of like 8 months, we went from 12 to 25. So it was like really hectic, but yeah, it definitely takes time to get.
And then at what point did you feel comfortable getting such a big office?
Never comfortable getting in the office, but you just gotta do it, right? I think it's when you like feel like it's a problem for people getting work done. So what happened was like I literally remember like our third office or our fourth office, which was it wasn't bad, it wasn't really small, but it was comfortable for 8 people, but once you got to 12, and some people we had forced them to sit at like really uncomfortable counters. So and they were just like, this sucks. And also like when it got to be summer, the AC wasn't strong enough. And walk in and smell like it's a little stuffy in there. We're like, we gotta move. So I think even if like we were maybe not 100% comfortable about putting in that big security deposit and moving everything, we're like, look, we have to bet on ourselves and hope that we can grow in this space.
So like I know like the design and like all that stuff is helpful to like your product, but how helpful or like how does like the luncheons and all that stuff like the ping pong, how does that help you like the overall company?
Yeah, and that's a great point. I mean, like, I would say it's not crucial, but I would say, it's like what we try to do, as owners is create an environment where you want to work, and we think if you're happy, you're going to do your best work, and so we want to create an environment where look, you work hard, like you put your head down, you focus, you get all your things done, and then take a break, have some fun. And you don't have to worry every day about going out to Chinatown and finding a meal or whatever. We'll just bring that to you and just enjoy good food, be healthy. So we think it goes hand in hand, like good creative environment. Yeah.
When you were like doing like web help for like Microsoft and editing things for them, why were they asking outside people to help them? No offense or anything.
No,
like,
that's.
Wouldn't there people be at Microsoft that could do that?
Well, actually, no. I mean, that's the big thing that. So, Microsoft, their primary business is to create the products, right, that they sell as software. And so, like, to divert the attention of those people to do some marketing stuff or whatever, it doesn't, it's not the best use of their time.
Oh, okay.
So they hire companies like us who, this is what we specialize in, right? This is what we're good at, which is helping other companies tell a story and look good to consumers. And so that's why Microsoft and other technology companies
Have chosen you.
Yeah.
What was the biggest break for your company?
Biggest break? I like to believe it's still coming, but Yeah, like I would say there are a few things that really help. For a while we were actually doing a lot of so I don't know if you guys are familiar with like the agency world, but then there's really big agencies and there's smaller ones like us, and there's even smaller ones out there. But basically, what happened was the iPad came out, and we didn't do any Flash ever. We never did Flash, but the iPad came out, and overnight, like a lot of these companies, they would big companies, they put out annual reports. You guys know my annual report? It's got the stock information, the financial information. So big companies put out annual reports, and they would always be in Flash. On the web version would always be like built in Flash. And then the iPad came out, and all the CEOs of these big companies got iPads, and so they couldn't load up these annual reports on their iPads. Because of that, all these agencies that created annual reports for big companies had to fire all their Flash developers and find these HTML5 guys, and then so we had, luckily we had some examples of animation up on our site, and this big agency saw it and came knocking and was like, hey, we have 4 or 5 annual reports that need to be done in HTML5 for iPads, the next 3 months. Can you do it? And we're like, okay. And this is more work than we had for the first 3 years of our existence in the span of 3-4 months. And so then we had to go on a hiring spree and just find someone and find different people. And it was a really exciting time that we were able to deliver and did some annual reports for some huge companies like GE, Coca-Cola, Amex, and Goldman Sachs. And so it was that was a really big moment for us to.
How do you find those people that you hire?
Recruiting wise, our team members. Yeah, so back in the day, we relied heavily on Craigslist, believe it or not, because we're who are we with no real name, and we'll just post anonymous, and someone will reply. And actually, believe it or not, we found some really great people, people fresh to New York, right? You're new to New York. You come from Midwest, and you're oh, I just looked for jobs on Craigslist. And luckily, we found some really good people. These days, we use recruiters. We'll post on different job posts. There's specific design job posts, job boards, and then developer job boards. So we'll post there. I use LinkedIn a lot too to post jobs as well. So they're very expensive. All these things cost money now, but yeah, they're pretty.
Wait, I'm guessing when you started up this company, a lot of friends came up to you asking for jobs and stuff like that, right?
Oh, asking me for jobs? No.
Yeah.
Well, my friends all had really high-paying jobs in finance.
Oh, okay.
So but it is funny. These days we do get sometimes my clients will call and they'll be like, hey, I got this nephew. Can you get him an internship? I'll be like, well, or even today, so Saywook was walking, taking the elevator and then walking into our office, and then across the hall from us is this film company, and then this guy randomly approaches him. He's like, "You work at Barrel, right?" And he's like, "I applied there, and then my dream is to work there, but I couldn't, so I'm working across the hall. Maybe we can talk." It was so weird, it's random. So sometimes we get anywhere between 10 to 50 job applicants a day. So it's just from all over the world. So it's cool, but it is really challenging to find the right fit.
So what do you look for when you're trying to hire somebody?
Yeah. So I would say it's at the most basic level, you have to be good at the skills that we want you to be. So if you're a designer, you have to have really good grasp of typography, colors, general aesthetics, and then be really good at the Adobe tools. If you're a developer, we want you to have some experience having worked with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you want you to do more back-end stuff, Ruby on Rails or PHP. So those are the basics. But then where it gets challenging is the soft intangibles. So are you really driven and keeping up the latest technologies, trying new techniques? So that's important. Asking a lot of questions. Another thing is attitude. Like after working with so many different people, you see people who are like, you know what, this is what I do. This is all I'm gonna do. Or there's others that are like, hey, like I never tried that before, but just let me take a shot at it, and maybe I can get good at it and help you out. And so we're looking for people who are like, more adventurous and want to take on more responsibilities. Lastly, just communication, just being able to talk to people, just talk about your work. If you have problems, not being afraid to just communicate that with your team members, and just being a very fun person to be around. Because at the end of the day, like no matter how superstar you might be at coding stuff, if you're a bad person, you're just negative to be around. Like I'd rather not waste 8 to 10 hours of my day being around that person. So that's those are
I noticed like at your workplace, you have like a lot of like recreational things to like create like a healthy environment for workers. Like how do you limit them from being just recreational and not distractions?
right. I mean, it's people know implicitly that this is a place of work. You can come here to do your work, and they're driven first and foremost by wanting to do good work.
Yeah.
They come because they love design, they love to code, and I mean we have really tight deadlines, and we have these project managers who are on top of these people all the time. I'm like, hey, we got this deadline tomorrow. Hey, where are you at? So there's a lot of that going on, and so like if you're really busy, like you're in the zone and you're just kind of plugged in doing your thing. But then it's like when it's downtime or whatever, like
Then
we basically respect everyone as adults and don't make good choices.
Have you ever come into a situation where you're like, I can't finish this project on time?
Yes, unfortunately, yeah, and those are. I mean, we would never say that to a client in those words. We would probably be like, well, this is what we have done, and these things are some roadblocks. Maybe we can launch this piece for now, or basically the whole with client services, it's all about expectations, right? So if you tell a client, I'm gonna get it done by this date, and you don't, like they're gonna be really angry. But if you tell the client, look, this is what we're aiming for, and we hope to have this done by then. But these are the risks that we run into, and you can point out to them like these potential things happen that held us up from getting it done, and they'll be more understanding. So it's like, I mean, for you guys, you guys are probably interested in the craft of things, but like of making things. But a big part of what I do and what we do at our company are these like conversations with clients, making sure we're on the same page about